Good morning, masterminds. Good morning, real masterminds. We are back. We are back with more explosive revelations. We told you that we are going to dig every single day. The more they delay, the more we are digging. So today, Njabs is going to play another video for us of the court proceedings, and you will be explaining to us what is the reason behind him playing that video. So good morning, Njabs, and welcome again to another edition of the Real Masterminds. Please greet our viewers and please tell us what are you intending to do.
All right. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning, Suspect and Real Mastermind. Again, we are starting again. We're trying to unpack, analyze what is currently happening in Israel's court, and to see how far can we as citizens contribute into ensuring justice for the Mewa family, because justice is what is needed. This is not personal. We're not going, believe you, Mrs. Pet, we get a lot of information that is really personal, that takes us to people's private places, but we're not interested in that. We're sticking on the court record. We are linking things to the court record. Yes, some other people are telling us that other people are doing very crazy and embarrassing things. But as South Africans, and our mission, Suspect, it's our podcast, it's about justice, it's about holding people to account for what they say. Now, I'm going to try and play this clip just to remind South Africans where we're coming from.
Where's Mr. Mgomezulu? Thank you, my lord. I'm ready to proceed. Yes. Mr. Kininda, yes, sir. This might not be relevant, but I think my first cross-examination, when I first cross-examined you, it was in 2003, remember? Joburg.
Yo, I don't remember. Angisakhumbula-ke uma uqala ke u-cross-examine umbuzo imibuzo kwakungo-2003 angisakhumbula.
That's not relevant, but I just wanted to show you that you are not a new person.
Okay. No, I don't recall, my lord. Angisakhumbula.
But you know me.
We've spoken. I've seen counsel before, my lord. Sike sakhuluma ngake ngakubona ngaphambilini.
Thank you. Say, what is of relevance?
Selective memory. That's what I
You know what?
the elephant, his memory is like the memory of an elephant.
Yes. Wow. Suspect. It says, do you know me?
I cross-examined you in 2003. So
Now,
many years ago.
This is not the first time we're meeting.
We met. Do you know me?
We met. You know me.
Wow.
And people suspect we're not going to understand why in this case we are always talking about the things that we're talking about. Do you know me?
Credibility. Why we are talking about credibility of the witnesses. Because the reason why, what people must understand, we are working according to a strategy here to expose what is happening in that court, to expose the Ginindas and the Balois and the whoever's of this world. Because the reason why you always come and introduce throwbacks, because there's a throwback, is because we got information on what we are now going to give people more information on what we did there.
what is important, Suspect, is that because you're saying throwback, because people need to understand what was happening
Yes.
in this case.
Yes.
This is a throwback. Now, listen.
This statement as well, how was it made?
Siqale lana-ke na i-date yakhona-ke i-14 kaDisemba 2017 eDurban.
Yes.
Senziwa kanjani-ke sona?
Lesi statement if ngikhumbula kahle ngibona lesibongo sithi Shabir. If kuyena lo babe ngimcabangayo omude, the statement wangenzise eBish.
Okay. If it is the gentleman, because I see here it says Shabiri, and if it is the person that I'm thinking of, it was taken at the beach.
So on official duty, you are having cocktails and margaritas and making statements. And how was it made? Was it, did you narrate the story to him and then he wrote the statement down, or did you personally reduce the statement to writing?
Kwakwenzeka kanjani-ke wawukhuluma abhale phansi noma wakunikeza-ke ukuthi wena uyibhalele wena?
Firstly, I wish I was drinking cocktails at the beach. He fetched me M17. If it's 2017, he fetched me M17. Ngangisebenza eMasgrave.
He fetched me.
Proceeded to a beach. Just to clarify the first part that you said.
So he fetched me from work. Sorry. We then went to the beach.
This statement as well. How was it made?
Now, Suspect, you said, do you know me? It's not the first time I'm seeing you. Now, is it Tumelo there or Mthokozis? Their voices, I'm mixing them. But now his statement is taken at the beach. But then the strange thing that he remembers, he says, I don't remember the detail of the statement, but when I see who helped me to take the statement is Shabir. Lobaba Omud is like describing it as one of the tall guys. Lobaba Omud.
Selective
So it's
memory.
like, yes, it's like, do you know me?
Yes.
Now, Suspect, I had taken the mastermind into confidence. What we went through previously on the statement of Mbot.
Yes.
Remember, I said to you that Kininda needs to be refreshed his memory. You understand? That at some point, him and Boto may have crossed paths.
Parts like this.
Do you understand? Now, for me, that was very important, Suspect, because I'm going to share people now another screen. That's what I want to do. I want to share the screen. I want people to remember this. This is a confession that is taken by Mboto in 2013. Is it 2013? What's the date?
2014.
Yes, 2014. This is the case that we spoke about of the Middleland case.
Yes.
This Middleland case is the case that Kininda was responsible for. But then now, if I take you back, Suspect, to another clip, this is the same clip that I was sharing with you. It should tell me the police station here where this thing was taken. I think it's written Cleveland somewhere.
Cleveland Police Station.
Or the case is Middlelands, but I will share with you, yes, the instance where it says Cleveland. We tried to join on a previous episode about the Cleveland police station. People need to understand that with some familiar police stations that are being used, the same actors keeps on coming through. The same magistrates are being used for the similar things. The same peace officer are being repeatedly being used for this.
The same prosecutors.
Yes, the same prosecutors are being used. Now, the clip I played you, Ngomezulu. Ngomezulu let me tell you something, Sispet. When I remember even few conversations that I had with Ngomezulu, which then maybe you can also add. Ngomezulu appeared to have worked with Umboto before. Ngomezulu appeared to have worked with Gininda before. Guess which is a common place? A common case is that Ngomezulu was dealing with or working at the same place, but they know each other very well. It's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland Police Station. Now, I'm going to release a bomb.
What now? You can't do this to me. How can you just say release a bomb? It's trial by
Going to release a bomb to you. Now, this is the bomb that I'm going to release. From 2007 to 2011, Mboto was a Diepkloof police station. From 2011 to 2020, Mboto was the branch commander of the detectives at Cleveland Police Station.
Wait. Until 2020?
Until 2020.
Which side of 2020? Because Sibia, I suspect you can't do this thing to us.
2020 to 2024, he was transferred to Randburg. That's Mboto. Now, guess
Randburg.
what? Guess what?
Yes.
Gininda was working under Mboto as a detective during that period, 2011, I don't know until when, at Cleveland Police Station.
You can't be doing
Before
this
he
to me.
became a decorated brigadier, he was working as a detective during 2011. I don't know exactly until when, but when Mboto was the branch commander at Cleveland, he was the commander of Gininda.
No, Manfred, no, you can't be doing this.
So when that confession was taken, they worked together at Cleveland because their confession was taken in 2014. So I can say they have worked together during or before the confession was taken of Tlengani Shabalala.
Where does that put Ngomezulu? And
Ngomezulu, okay. Ngomezulu used to represent arrested, accused persons from the Cleveland police station. So he regularly came in contact with both Gininda and Mboto. You know them. And they know him.
So you are saying, let me just take you back to the clip. So when Dlagadla says in this clip,
is you
so
He referred to the times when he used to go to the police station to go and see his clients. And obviously, as a branch commander, you would have met with Mboto. And obviously, as an investigator, in some of the cases, remember he said, Gininda testified in a matter in court in which he was the lawyer of the accused. So obviously, you would have, as an investigator, you also would have met with Gininda. Because he did cases around that area, around that precinct, magistrate precinct.
Yes. So now, I want to try and play the clip again for the real mastermind, because I may have played the clip, because I'm going to tell you why I wanted to play the clip.
Thank you, my lord. I'm ready to proceed.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Gininda,
Yes, sir.
this might not be relevant, but I think my first cross-examination, when I first cross-examined you, it was in 2003. Remember? Joburg.
Yo, I don't remember. Angisakhumbuli ke uma uthi uqala ke u-cross examine umbuzo imibuzo kwakungo 2003
Yeah,
angisakhumbuli.
that's not relevant, but I just
Okay.
wanted to show you that.
So, Suspect, for me, when I played the clip, I wanted to remind the person that Ngomezulu was a gentleman. He was just reminding people, say, you know what, if you're going to lie, or you're not going to say something that is the truth, I need to be on record that you and me have part. You see, like how the brigadier always used to say, when I lay my eyes on the accused person. Yes, that's how we was describing this interaction.
Tumble over and decide to
That
confess.
confess. Yes. So now Ngomezulu was just like saying, before you lay my eyes on me, Gininda, you, me, and Boto, we know each other. You must remember that there's a concept of the J50. And there's a concept of Ngomezulu also challenging, I think it's section 217 of the peace officers. Ngomezulu knew something about Mboto. That is why Mohola and them, they try to discredit Mboto's confession of accused number one, Musa. Because I'm thinking that because of the confession that I've already shown the Mr. Minds that the case is being investigated by Gininda, and the confession taker is Mboto, who now you just paralyzed me now by telling me that they were also working at the same police station. That completely paralyzed me. And then now, that means now it's when Mamum Ruti is trying to put the spices on. So should at any point in time, because Ngomezulu knew Gininda and Mboto, so that they don't come back and say, because Ngomezulu now representing accused number one. You understand that? Now, the danger when I'm analyzing these things, I did my analysis based on the confession that Mboto and the prior relationship between Mboto and Gininda, and what Gininda and Mboto have already lied to Rata about. They said they didn't know each other, they didn't have each other's numbers. Now, Ngomezulu being the common factor to that, Ngomezulu was the only person that was actually dismantling this case on factual things and on the lying. When Ngomezulu told the judge, says, you're putting me in a position to say the court is colluding with the state. Then the judge said, do you know what you mean by that? And he says, maybe I mean it. Because Ngomezulu knew that how can the judge defend something because Mboto and Gininda have worked together and they know each other. And the three of them, they've crossed paths.
So remember we are connecting the dots here. And in Jabs, to be honest, for me this is personal. nor that I want anything to do with people's personal lives. I have nothing to do with people's personal lives. What they do in their personal life are their business. But what they do when they come to the institutions, to our institutions, like you said yesterday, becomes my business. That becomes my business because it affects me. It affects my own family. It affects your family. It affects other people. The only people that are not being affected are themselves. So for me, in to honor the memory of Dlhakatla, for me, this is personal. This is really, really personal. And as we said before, we will dig and dig and dig. We are not going to stop until this nest of snakes have been exposed. Because something must happen at some point. At some point, something must happen. These people must be held accountable because you know what? They took resources of the state and they do whatever they do as they pleased. And there was no one stopping them because clearly there's some power behind them. Clearly they have some power behind them. But as we said, we don't care about that power behind them. The only thing we care about is to address this malpractice, is to address whatever is happening here. And whatever happens to us, we don't mind. We don't care.
Yeah.
So they must know that we are on to them. We are on to them, and we are not going to stop. Is the battle of the survival of the fittest. That is what is currently happening now. And we are here with evidence. And this evidence, we are sharing it. They must also know. This evidence, we are sharing it with the relevant authorities. So they can come for us. But the evidence has already been shared. There's already investigations that are in place now. We have so much evidence. Whatever they do, they can't kill us all. Because the people from who we are getting this evidence are also fed up. They are sick and tired. Just they are afraid to come forward like us. But I want to applaud them because finally, they decided to stand up and decided to be a silent speaker. We are the mouthpieces. They must know we are here to stay and we are not going to stop until this is over. There can only be one winner out of this, and we will make sure that we are that winner.
Yeah, you see, Suspect, I totally understand because I know your journey. I know where you're coming from. I've never been behind bars. I've never been chained for nothing. I've never been treated as a terrorist. But I tell you what, I've been harassed. They've tried to take aim at me with a sorry about that. They've tried to take to shoot at me. They tried all the things that one can imagine of. So I fully understand where you're coming from when you say when people start to go on and mess up people's lives. Because now we have something. It appears as if the two of us, not being aware, we were communicating with Ngomezulu. You understand? Now, when I started saying to Ngomezulu, Ngomezulu, I don't know. I don't like being a lawyer because when you're a lawyer, you are confined. You need to act like you are okay, where else you are not okay. Now, when Ngomezulu confronted the judge, I need people to get the thing in context. Why Ngomezulu will have been the person that says that why he's seeing the judge as if the judge is colluding with the state. Because people don't know those dots. Now, when we get the information about the charge sheet, and it just happened that now Ngomezulu is the one that represents number one. And then accused number one just happens that while Ngomezulu is representing number one, legal aid is not interested in paying for his bills. Now, why all of a sudden legal aid is prepared to pay somebody else monies that will have been paid to Ngomezulu?
Ngomezulu.
Is now you see that hypocrisy, suspect, based on the Mayor case. I want to join these dots because the very same people, Mboto and Gininda, appear to have lied bluntly to Rata. They've played Rata. If then Rata is endorsing that, he needs to call these guys in their chambers. Rata needs to play back the same stance that he put to Mnisi. Rata said to Mnisi, so Mnisi, you thinking that Baloyi can risk his career and lie before us?
Yes.
But then all of a sudden, when Rata is hearing that the extension was just for Mnisi to complete his cross-examination of Gininda. Now, is it procedural? I'm not a lawyer, suspect, but is it procedural that an advocate, a state prosecutor, can send additional evidence to a person who's just going through the record that got nothing to do that?
With the record.
And the judge says nothing
And
in
the
his
judge,
ruling.
even ask, you know what? I thought at the time when I was asking him, what new pictures did you send to him? I thought he was going to say that you can't do that. You haven't made a disclosure of those pictures yet. Yet you have sent it to Mnisi. I mean, it seems like Rata is adamant to convict these guys and to allow the state to do whatever they please at risking his own reputation. Never mind Baloyi's reputation, risking his own. It seems he's adamant to risk his own reputation. Yesterday, he said that I'm retired, and the JP called me if and when he meets me. So it seems he don't care because he's already a retired judge. So he should, in his retirement, he should be complicit to send innocent people to jail, ignoring crucial evidence, ignoring unprocedural behavior, because he's already retired and he just do what the JP tells him to do.
You know, it's suspect. When you say that he says that he does what the JP tells him to do, or JP can call him whenever this. I'm just going to try and remind the masterminds, basically. There's an instance, Pet, where Rata is presiding on the matter. Because Rata has made example of these things, that he's a respected a judge. He has presided on the matters where very high-ranking police officers were convicted. So he's trying to tell us that he's not scared of anyone.
Yes.
If he needed to do his job, he's going to do his job without fear of any intimidation, without fear of anything. Now, I need to give you support on what you just said, because he said JP can call him anytime.
All along, and it is not Sorry. JP. Yeah, you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying, my lord.
So now, do you see? You see, Rata is honest in a way.
JP does
During
call him anytime, anyway, because
time.
I don't believe, it's actually shocking, it's unheard of. How can the phone ring during the sentencing of a suspect? He answered the phone and then he's like, it's JP. Why did
It's
JP want him so
not-
urgently at that specific moment?
Suspect, it's not just any suspect.
Richard
It's
Mdluli.
General Mdluli. It's General Mdluli. You see, we've been trying to join the dots. You heard on all the other clips that we saying, that we played, and the interview asked General S, do you have something to say about General Mdluli? Then you can see that there were wars amongst the police officers, they themselves, Hawks versus crime intelligence, and then there's these wars. But then now, Rata, he even said when you wanted information, this information was classified. They said he can't have it because certain information is classified. The minute he convicted that general, then the information was declassified. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, Suspect, is that Rata, when he says that he's, I think when he says he doesn't want secrets, we can criticize him as much as we want, but I think he's transparent. But this transparency needs to be consistent.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
It needs to be consistent, his transparency, because now he tells us there that, you know what, the JP called. Now, why? There's signs there in court that you don't bring the
you must either set your phone on silence, or you must switch it off.
Wait also. By listening to the sound of that ringtone, let me tell you what, Richard Mdluli has only been sentenced when 2016, 2017, I'm not sure, but in the age of smartphone, it's in the age of smartphone. But that phone looks like a small phone, a banner phone, it sounds like a banner phone, or a Nokia 310.
Meaning that he actually expected that call. It means that, because I don't understand, if you can go and ask Rata, why did you not switch your phone off during court proceedings? It seems like he expected that call.
But that type of ringtone, Suspect.
You are right. It's like those small phones that you just buy so that the call cannot be traced. That call must not be traced.
Well, it can be traced, Suspect. It's just that the information there, it doesn't stay long. I think it doesn't stay for longer than 10 minutes. It starts to write on top of each other, basically. But you see, these are the things that we are saying, that it cannot be that we have selective memory when it comes through to what Mngomezulu was saying. If Mngomezulu was putting this allegation, the court was not supposed to come hard on Mngomezulu, threaten him by suing him and everything. Me, as a citizen, Suspect, I can tell you now, because now I have seen that Kininda and Botwe have worked together, and they've both come to court and they've lied. And Rata is quiet about it. What can I conclude then? I can say that Judge Rata appears to be biased with the state. If any other person is looking at those things, can say, okay, if the judge is quiet, is looking at things, so does it mean that they are colluding? Is it some collusion?
Yes, it seems like colluding. The worst part is Judge Rata was so angry, he even threatened that he's going to sue Mngomezulu. And Mngomezulu was adamant to say, go ahead.
Yes.
Why would someone be so adamant? Because he had the information. He had all the information.
Suspect he was forced to apologize to court because of what? If you are a lawyer, you need to behave in a particular way in court. See this thing, that's why I'm saying that for me, you became confined when you are a lawyer, because you have to subject yourself to the ancient rules. You're supposed to subject yourself to the Romans rules. You need, every time, Suspect, when you get inside the court,
Roman Dutch law, we must call them my lord, my lady, my lord. I mean, they actually regard themselves as our gods in heaven.
Listen, Suspect. Listen, Suspect. It says, if most people who go to court are Christians, but it says, thou shalt have one God.
God.
Yes. Now, all in this episode, Suspect, we're trying to contrast that Mngome Zulu had a strategy to dismantle the case. Mngome Zulu wanted to protect people from lying to South Africans. Mngome Zulu was not sticking on the street like people have branded Mngome Zulu that he was taking things from the street.
The traditional
Yes.
way. And they
Yes.
didn't like it.
Yes. Mngome Zulu, in context, Suspect, is representing number one. Number one is arrested and unlawful. You understand? Why number one is arrested unlawful? Because he was taken to Chlorocop. Number one, in his own statement, he says he was taken to Chlorocop and he was beaten up to say something about the Mewa case. Guess who came through to agree with number one? It's Zungu. He says, when he was cross-examined, he says, no, Makubo arrived there. He denied that number 5 was there. Do you understand that? So we are, in closing, Suspect, we're trying to say Mngome Zulu was right when he's saying, from his point of view, from the side of defending accused number one, it's easy for him to see as if the judge is colluding with the state. So I am here to say, Dlhakatlha was not hallucinating.
No. Yet
He's
told
the
that evidence.
Yes, he's the same guy that Rata said he was seen in court, but while he was fighting for his life in hospital.
Yes. That they saw him in Gininda in his register, they saw him in court.
Yes. So now, Suspect, this episode, I think it's a clear sign that we do not plan. We have a topic that we're going to speak about, but we don't rehearse. That is why it has turned to be about joining the dot, why Mngome Zulu was attacking the process. It's about joining the dot, why Mngome Zulu, what is it that Mngome Zulu
1
knew?
minute, Jabs.
Yes, what Mngome Zulu knew. So that is that Mngome Zulu knew that these were lies, these were trumped up charges. Yes, masterminds. We're going to
Real
continue.
masterminds, please like, please subscribe, please share. Because our next edition is going to be explosive. We are going to Kutlanong Street. And there's something that we want to show you in Kutlanong Street. I believe most of the people would never have realized what we are going to show you. So if you want that information, if you want to see cold hard evidence, remember in court, you must present evidence, not hearsay, not come with assumptions, not. So we are going to take it to Kotlano Street with a Google Map Street View, and you will see what we are going to show you in Kotlano Street. So please, as I say, like, please subscribe, please share, because it's still going to be a very, very bumpy road for Gininda and his crew and for the state. As long as we are here, we are going to untangle, we are going to expose, we are going to embarrass, and at the end of the day, we are going to demand